Well, how is everybody doing? It's me, Jim. I want to welcome you, man, for coming back, being a part of this again. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Most definitely. It's a weekend. You survived another week, man. Let's get this going, man. It's Harry and my cryptic thoughts. Remember to not just hear me and think about it. Remember to visualize stuff. It's really important. We're talking about Harry. That's very important. I myself know horse lines. If you do, hey, hopefully by the end of the show, they've lowered a little bit. That's what's important. Before I start, though, I'll give a shout out to Dan, Michigan. You know, this is cool what I'm doing. I'm enjoying this. Last night, he sent me a picture of a Harry, red-headed Harry, from Arizona and Navajo Reservation. And I thought, oh, it touched my heart. So, Dan, I love you. Miss you, Georgia, Chucky, most definitely. But to see that is all I'm trying to do. You know, because Harry's out there, guys. I mean, they're out there. I mean, that's for sure. Today's show is going to be real fun. I'm going to kind of be able to give myself a pat on the back. At the same time, make y'all understand that I'm not really trying to blow smoke at the butt. I really break things down. I look at things. Last week's show, I told you guys about the story about the NDR or some branch of government come back and buying the land back. And we said, why would they do that? Or protect them, maybe study them? It's just crazy how things work out. Okay. I saw a video this week. It was like a leaked government video. Okay. Of a federally protected land. And what was on this video that they were observing? It was a family of Harry's, y'all. Looked like a male, a female, it looked like a young one in the middle. You know, and I looked back, I was like, You know, and you know me, Jim, I'm going to be honest with things. I'll break it down. And I backed it up, looked at the gate. I was like, oh. And it just made me think, I just talked about them protecting the land. And if I'm studying them, observing them, I mean, and I saw that and I was like, put a smile on my face, you know. And I was like, oh. But anyway, okay, let's see. Let's get this. And I'm going to, you know, Jeff Meldrum, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, let's make sure we understand who he is, too. He does a lot of the cast, analyzes them. That's pretty cool nowadays. Technology's changing. How now they have the 3D scanners and stuff. So now we don't have to worry about pouring the mold, waiting for mold to set, dry up, and lift it up. The mold might break. No. Now it's all digitally stored. So thumbs up on the technology. This is going to be a good show. Like I said, I'm glad y'all are here with me. If you like what I'm saying at the end, go to the top. Go over to Harry. Hit him. Like it. Thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. That's okay. Subscribe. Cool. Let's get them numbers up. I had a lot more people behind me when I was doing this than I do now because I'm a technical glitch. But anywho, okay. A couple of stories I always start with. Let's go with an old one again. Ape Canyon. I'm sure people that are into Harry know about that, but those that don't, let me throw it out there for you and you can look into it. Mount St. Helens. It was 1940s. 4 men, you know, they're mining and stuff like that. They had built them a cabin on the side of the Mount St. Helens itself. It was like 700 feet down on the sheer cliff. They made themselves a house. Well, they're out during the day, 4 of them, hunting. Doing what they need to do, I guess, for food. And they came across a tall, hairy, upright man. And they didn't know what it was. And they shot at it. They didn't hit it and it disappeared. Didn't think anything about it. And they proceeded back to their cabin for the night's rest. During the night's rest, they were abruptly woken up by large stones and stuff being thrown at their cabin. The guys didn't know what was going on, so they jumped up, grabbed their guns, and started looking out. And they saw tall, ape-like, hairy men throwing rocks and stuff at their cabin they had built. This proceeded all night long, everybody. The next morning, they said, no, we ain't doing this, don't know what's going on, not going to happen. So they all got them, and they left. And I told a story about it, you know, and it was in the papers, ape-like, attacked by ape-like men, tall ape-like men, there at the creek, at Canyon Creek. So, one of the stories leads to that one of them was following the guys. and they had turned around and shot it. Now, I don't know if I lean too much on that, because, I mean, you think if you would, you want to go investigate that, or you're worried for your safety and you want to just get that out of there. But that's why it's called Ape Canyon. You don't want to check into that one. That's an old story. Still to this day, pretty good things that happen there. I've seen some other special people have gone there. Sounds, vocalizations. So, I want to share that one with you guys too. Thought that was pretty good. And then, okay, here's one. And I heard this about, I don't know, probably 4 years ago. I'd say at least probably 3 to 4. Anyway, she was a retired Army specialist. She was a female. And this is something that had been weighing her down, had been bothering her. I guess you understand why when I get up the story. And she wanted to share. She had to get off her chest because it haunted her. So she told this story about where it was like war games. It was on the Olympic Peninsula. And her and her group and whatnot, she was in charge, had gone. And they were the only ones in the area, okay, guys? And when they're sitting by the fire, they're camping out. And then one night, out of the blue, they heard like rapid gunshots. And then she described as the most blood-curdling roar scream that you could feel. And it freaked them all out. I mean, because they're the only ones out there, y'all. They didn't know what in the world that could have possibly been, especially with the gunshots. So some of them with their 17 minutes said, man, hey, let's go and see what that was. So besides her best judgment, she said they decided to go and do it. So, I mean, you can understand what it's probably haunts and stuff, because it gets more in depth on this stuff. But as they were going to the woods, and they could see where it came from, they had seen some lights. And like I said, they're the only ones in the area. They had no idea what was going on. And she said as they proceeded through the woods and whatnot, and they came across that musky, foul smell. And it just kept getting stronger and stronger. And they all took note of it. And then when they came up out of an opening, out of a clearing, she said that her mouth hit the floor. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. But laying on the ground, dead, was a male Harry. She said you could tell by the scrotum. And right there next to him, this is what really got her, was a female Harry. She was gasping for air. She wasn't quite gone. She hadn't lost her life yet. And she said she swore she could see tears in his eyes. That's emotion, man. But this is something that she saw. You couldn't understand why. But it was what happened afterwards. Because they were there trying, what in the world, looking at all stuff, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she said they were bum rushed and tackled to the ground and said, keep your faces down, keep your heads down, don't move. I mean, there was a group of them. And she said she looked, and she said by her experience of being in the service, she knew they were like Delta Force, Green Beret. And she said they put them on the ground, got them out, what are you doing out here, and so forth and whatnot. They got the story was she got reprimanded and was never to talk about this again, what happened. So she shared that story. That's one of them stories that gets me thinking, why in the world would we want to do this? Because we don't know what it is. We want to scare, we want to hurt. So, that's one of them things that the government yeah, okay. But that story there, I can understand. When I heard that, I was like, damn, I can see why that bothered her for so long. Think about that way of seeing that. I mean, number one, you're seeing something that you comprehend that is real, that you didn't really know that was real. And then on top, seeing the emotion of the other one with the tear in its eye. I mean, you just got to look at things. I mean, now it's just, you can understand. I just wanted, those are a couple of stories. That there, though, that one haunts me a lot. I mean, because I'm thinking there's more, guys. There's more. To think that they would do that, Anyway. Anywho, but that's my two stories, because it's going in a good direction. Before we get to Expedition Bigfoot, the trail cameras and stuff, where they, I want to say that too. Everywhere they've been, the past 5 years, they've left trail cameras, which is pretty cool. That was definitely something I want to do. You leave running, all the time. 24/7, 365. So, because you never know what you might catch. It might not be tomorrow, might be then. But eventually you might catch something. So I think I want to give a shout out. That's pretty good. You know, the patience. I'm still into that. Need to be patient, you know. I would love, if I get an Expedition Bigfoot this week, which is a good show, I would love to sit down with a Native American. I'm telling you. The stories they have from their dad's dad to their dad's 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 dad has told them, that's been passed down over the generations. Boy, you could have some good ones. I mean, hopefully one day this progresses. Like I said, I'm nobody. I'm Jim. If you're here, hey, thanks for being here, you know, but hopefully in time that can progress, where that could occur or happen. Because I would soak that up with a country biscuit, guys. That's gravy. I mean, that would, imagine the stories they have about Harry. I mean, that's kind of where it started with. That's I've always told you guys. I'm always about how they respect stuff. But then, geez, you know, I'm doing the Casper and E.T. The stories on that too. The Wallace has been recorded. Come on, man. Anyway, okay, let's get to Expedition Bigfoot. Good show this week. Good show. Did real good. A lot of, you know, like that one I told you with that leaked video, and I had mentioned something about maybe observing, you know, pat on the back, pat on the back. I thought that was pretty cool, but there's some more that's coming up here with this show. We saw this last week. You know that Maria and Biko into the show by that dilapidated bridge they can't cross. They heard some noises on the other side of it. And it was pretty cool. Good vocalizations. I heard some something thrown and whatnot. Really interesting by the end of the show. What was discovered. But they go back to the camp. I guess they set up their camp. You know, they do the little, you know, like their interviews. They set up a camera like I'm doing and tell you what they've seen and what's going on. Well, when Maria was doing her part, it was pretty cool. Because when she's doing all of a sudden she stops like, huh? Did you hear that? And the vocalizations you could hear from that were amazing. She's like, huh? And they sit there and listen to it. And then she got with Biko, and she said that you could hear like they were talking back and forth to one another. And then they heard like an animal in distress, animal being harmed, animal being basically, their hypothesis, which was pretty cool, was like, it seemed like it was a hunting party, a hunting group, you know, here, and all of a sudden you hear this animal screaming and, you know, this last, you know, the death scream like, oh, it's been caught, that's about it. And then it went quiet. So that was pretty cool. I was like, you know, I was pretty impressed with, that was impressive. I mean, that was really impressive. And then Russell, you know, he's at that hunter's cabin. You know, I thought about that too. I don't know the laws of the forest. I want to learn all stuff, but if I'm out somewhere and I find somebody's cabin, do I really want to spend a night in the cabin? If they show up and, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe people know you're in the area and they're like, okay, well, they might use that. I mean, that's just one thing I said, I thought that really odd. He put trail, you know, Russell's never one to put trail cameras up. Usually he's always on the go. I tell you guys, he's always on the go. So now he's got this hunter's cabin he's using. Keep all his stuff in and goes out and looks around the area. And he put up some trail cameras, which he's never done before. He's not one of those to really do it. He just sits there and observes and continues. So he put himself up in the perimeter, and he went off and all that stuff looking around. And, you know, follow some tracks and whatnot. But we'll get back to the trail cameras. It was entertaining to see what he did on that one. I'm still kind of confused about that tripwire. They've got it detected where they can pick up upright walking, but I'm still confused because, I mean, I've looked at the area and I think if I'm looking at the area right they're doing, I'd say it's 18 across, 18 miles down, 18 by 18 by 18. And they're down here like, well, they're kind of like in the middle right now. They're working their way up and whatnot. So maybe it's start here and work our way up. Still trying to figure that one out. But okay, here's another one. I've been telling you guys, if you guys, you know, when Biko and Maria were in the camp and they had that LiDAR, I told you guys, if you have an opportunity, I don't know if you recorded it like I do, I recorded. So I can go back and watch and observe and see, okay, let me look at this, look at this. And I told you guys, here's another one. On the last show, it's legs. But the fact of, I mentioned to you the arms. You guys, you should have seen the arm it was swinging. That's where I'm going with this one. So he called this Dr. Emily. Dr. Emily, thumbs up for sure. But she's a forensic podiatrist who studies prints and whatnot, can give you analysis and whatnot. They sent the one scan had a print. What was it? It was like 14 inches by 5.7. So it's a small one. I wear a 14.5. So I'm like, oh, well, that's like my foot, but my foot's not as wide. No. Well, I looked at mine, and mine's only like maybe 5. It's 4 or 5. Probably 5. It's like 5. Go figure. It's for balance. Anywho, but then, she said, okay, it's a tall upright. And I explained how the brain, bipedal, the brain is larger, which would make sense, I guess. I thought that was pretty cool, Bryce pointed out. But it's what he did. He showed her the LiDAR, She's like, well, this is the LiDAR they had at the camp. What do you think about this? And she was looking at it. She's like, well, can you rewind it? She looked at it again, and then it was funny. She said, oh, my God. And I was like, oop. And she came back, and, it goes a break. Like I said, 25-minute shows, 35 a break. And she came back, and she said, oh, my God, you see the arm swinging? And she's like, well, yeah, that's definitely a bipedal. It's moving the way it moved on it. But the fact that she pointed out the arm, I'm telling you guys, it's down below its knees, guys. The arms are just, and this is going to get to hear at the end of the show. But I was like, oh, pat on the back on that one. I found that was like, come on, man. I really have a passion for this, and I hope to show the same passion when I do my ET and my Casper during the weeks. I will never mislead you. I will never try to just say something and make you say, oh, yeah, okay. No. That's not how I roll. And if you hear something, you're like, Jim, wait a minute. Reach out to me. I got this set up where you can leave a comment. If it's bad, hey, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Trust me, man. No. 56. No, not going to happen. Okay. Again, then Russell, when he was setting up, he got set up, he's doing his parabolics again. Remember the last episode I said the special said was clicking the teeth. I told you guys. Russell heard that again, guys. And he's like, there's that noise again. There's that noise again. Okay, now here, I'm going to stop for a minute on that noise. I'm telling you. Okay. We're talking about Harry here. Remember, 8 foot. 9 to 10 feet. Okay, what's this say? 6 feet wide. Remember, 5 foot, the window, 5 foot. Add a foot to that. A larger head. A larger mouth. A larger tongue. More room. More echoes. More noise capability from their mouth. I am telling you, bottom dollar, that's what that noise is. And I'm so... When I hear it, I'm like, come on, man, Think about it. That's a good way to communicate. Make them noises and whatnot. You know where you're at. Plus, with them, I'm telling you, the mouth, the tongue, so they could have more volume. More firm, more. You could hear that, man. So I found out, I was like, okay. I was like, because he heard that again, and I'm telling you, I'm all about the tongue part. I'm still got a little bewildered why they'll do that. And then Russell had his, he's been noticing about the like I said, he doesn't use trail cameras a lot. I've always thought about this trail cameras. I don't know, can they smell them? Or they can see them? He mentioned that, the IR and the smell, and I've always thought about that anyway. Good Lord, God, yeah. It's like you could be half blind and still see them on the doggone tree. But anyway, so here's Russell. I think he likes Scooby-Doo too, because this is what I'm going to call this here in a minute. And he's like, oh, maybe they're seeing the IR. Okay, so I'm going to I call it the Scooby Trap. I'm interested to see next week's show to see if Scooby-Doo Trap works. But he's got the 2 cameras on the tree. So he went and pulled off some pines and whatnot, tree lintel and stuff to cover up the IR light on this one. Cover up the IR on this one. Wrap some twine around it. Ran the twine down the ground around the tree, across the path. to a log. It also kind of reminded me of the game Mousetrap. If y'all understand that you're old, you understand when you step, watch all this stuff, and then half the time it won't work right. But anyway, we'll see. But he ties the thing to a log that when it hits the line, the log will drop and pull the protection of the R's down and give both cameras a visibility of what is there and what did it. Okay, we'll see if this Scooby Trap works. Possibly. We'll see. I'm curious. I'm telling you, intelligence, guys, this is their yard. I've always believed and wondered about the IR. We talked about the heat. I talked about the taping and loosening them. That has any effect on what they can see and how they can see. And not only just that, I mean, we talked about dog sense. You guys, Joe and Steve. Oh, Steve, they're back. Oh, Joe, I smell them too. I mean, I don't know. I think about that too, you know. Because, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens out of Scooby Trap. But that's what Russell's doing. We'll see. And then Maria and Biko, you know, that dilapidated bridge they saw and their noises on the other side. Pretty good draw, guys. So they got themselves down this one side and they went down to the stream and they got to get from this side, but it's too high. I mean, it is. If you see it, it's ridiculous. You can get up it. So they decided to use their backpacks as flotation devices and float down the creek, which is pretty good. I mean, other than getting soaking wet and I mean, it's not like the water's 70 degrees, guys. It's just a creek. It's in Washington. It's going to be cold. But they floated down. A good distance, too. I'd say probably a good distance, looking where they started, where they're at. Probably been maybe a mile or so. And you can see on the map, it was a sheer cliff. But they got down there, got out, made a little fire and whatnot, and proceeded to go up as they dried up when they dried off. And they were sitting there listening. It was night. Remember, like I said, once again, guys, when we're seeing just the green and whatnot, they're in the dark, okay? Which you have to be. You can't have a bunch of bright lights on you. I mean, they're always, I'm telling you, it's just my opinion. And like I said, it's my gravy. I don't know everything, guys. I'm telling you, I think they already know you're there. Oh, shit, they're over here now? Oh, golly, man, they made their way across. But anyway, and there's some noises. They heard the same vocalizations they heard beforehand. And they're like, well, it's coming from that way. Let's go and look. Now, I was a little tweaked a little bit here. We're going to describe this coming on. But once again, they came across some array, saw something, and it was cool. It was a tree structure, a bunch of trees leaning up against the thing. Another tree. It was nice. It was nice. Observation. Do this a long time. Guys, I'm telling you, I try to break everything down. We're going to stop. We're going to say that. We're not going to go all up on it. Well, they didn't do that. But at the same time, when I saw it, I was looking, because I backed things up, cobwebs. There's cobwebs. You know, looks like some moss and stuff on some. So it's been there. You know, this is something it's there. So, and she pointed out, like last year, they had seen the same thing, but then there was more that went on. And they have to look around and, well, Biko did see another one. So, like on the one list, guys, when they saw it and they went up to, I mean, it was a 25-foot tree, guys. 25-foot tree. And now here's the one thing that kind of got me. They're getting up too close to it. Look, I mean, I understand. It's pretty cool, but I still would do the eDNA and CSI it, man. I mean, like I said, we're trying to prove this. But Biko goes, oh, let me see if I can pick this up. I get it. Okay, cool. Look, don't touch anything until we get all the stuff, and then you can go play with the doggone tree. But then when they saw a second one, then like there was a third one. And this is when it ended. We'll get into what happened for next week. I thought, cool. But this one was pretty freaking cool, guys. And again, Biko's using his fingers, touching his fur and stuff, and stuff that's in there wrapped around. Well, what? Don't touch. Look, but don't touch. Look, but don't touch. But there was a fur. I don't know, it had to be fur or something. Maybe it was from that kill or something, maybe. Maybe it was like, it meant something, but it was, if you look at it, y'all, there's like some kind of twine or something, or it's part of some kind of tree, but it's wrapped around it. I mean, it's all bundled together and wrapped around. Meaning, purpose, and left, that's how this week's show left. But I was like, ooh, because I mean, Lexia, rewind it. And I was looking at it, and it was like the fur, and it was twined around, And then there was even more twines that was on top of that one. I mean, there was a purpose there. That was this week's show. It was a good show. On a few notes on this, though, I think when we see tree structures, we've done, I told you, CSI, EGNA, and shit like that. But the fact that you're seeing them, I think this just goes to my native tribe thing, man. I think that's what that's about. I mean, because I don't think if they're not staying in the area, why they're going to make these structures and go on. I don't know. I just, I was like, well, one more thing. I did forget about this week's show. My bad. Bryce went and interviewed a guy, Steve. And, he's from East Texas. East Texas, moved to Washington. That's cool. They had only been there like maybe 4 or 5 months. That's what I interpreted from listening to him and the way he was talking. But when they first moved in, they started getting stuff was happening. Okay. So he put up some floodlights. He said they go off like midnight, 1 in the morning, and the lights would go off. So he put up some cameras. And he said one night he was in the kitchen and his daughter came in. I said, I know you're trying to scare me looking at a window, Dad. He was like, huh? And this house, I guess I had to have a lot of work done. It was a fixer-upper, okay? And I guess they had cardboard over a window. And he said when he went in there, he could see the cardboard moving, like something on the outside moving all the stuff in. And the shadow by the window was it was massive. He said it was just really dark by the window. So he had a camera set up outside. And he went up to the camera, showed the video of the camera. Not the greatest camera, but yet at the same time, it was still something. And you could see this large mass by the back come out and look around that he recorded. Now, when they went over to look at the area, he said you could see the knees look a little bent. And he said his roof line is a 9-foot roof line. Okay. And he said this looked to be every bit of 10 feet tall. Once again, remember, 8-foot walls add 2 foot. Remember, if it's 10 foot tall, I'm telling you, it's every bit of 6.5 feet wide. 7 feet. So I add a foot on each side of that window. That's a 5-foot window here. 5-foot window. Remember, visualize that stuff. So, and then Bryce was like talking and telling stuff, oh, that's kind of like terrifying. Okay. Now, here's my graveyard. They've been there 5 months. So let's just say 5 months, right? If I'm buying a place in Washington, in the mountains, I'm already I know, because it's what I do. It's what I enjoy and I love it passion. But about Harry. You're moving into his home. And he's probably going to be, this is where I'm like curious. I forgot to mention on like the first or second episode, Bryce met up with a Native American and told him about rogue Bigfoots. Rogue Bigfoots are ones that have been kicked out of tribes and stuff like that. And they're supposed to be really aggressive and pissed off at the world. Now Bryce had mentioned, I said, maybe this is a rogue. Oh boy. I mean, look, if it's 10 foot tall, we're talking about something that's 1,000 pounds. That's half a ton. Think about this, is all I'm asking you to do. 1,000 pounds. If it wanted to make itself known and let you know that you don't belong here, there's nothing stopping it. But the fact of the window, looking in the window, being by the window, of course, it is scary with being a little girl. I get that part. That's a scary thing. But at the same time, I'm like, that to me leans more like a curiosity. I've told you guys. I believe, because that's a curiosity in them. I mean, that's why you'd have to be out there 30 to 45 days. And I said, see if they would come to you. So, that was interesting. I mean, I was like, because I'm not into I get the rogue, the PO'd ones. I mean, we don't have a lot of stories. You don't hear some stories of being an aggressor. I can see that stuff. But this year, by the way, what they said and what you saw, it looked like no aggressive tensions, but the fact of, hey, man, look, somebody moved in here. Because they're watching you. Now, if this was my house and I moved here, guys, at the same time, knowing what I know and also, I would have like seismic sensors in the ground. Maybe put them 20 yards from the house, 75, maybe 150, along with cameras. I mean, that's just because we're doing it. But at the same time, they're moving there. They don't know, maybe not, because it sounded like, he realized they found a 17-inch print. He's like, well, they realized this. Now they comprehend Bigfoot, or Harry, as we say, Harry. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I would definitely, because you're in their house. So, I don't know. I just wanted to say something about that. I thought that was more or less a kind of a curiosity, to me. But anywho, good show, though. It was a good show. It was a good show. Looking forward to next week. Let's see if that Scooby Trap works for us. We'll see. It's interesting. Okay. We've done Florida, Alabama, Georgia. Let's get on North Carolina, South Carolina. Because now when you get in North Carolina, we'll get into it in a minute. But South Carolina was like 57 sightings. And this is dating up to the end of last year. They dated back all the way to 1964. The latest was fall of 2024. A deer hunter, northwest Columbia area. 12 counties. They have some report, and that's in South Carolina. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about that. The Francis Marion National Forest. One thing about me doing all this states too has been eye-opening to me. Before I thought everywhere or whatnot, but no, it's like you really have to break it down. You have to see where they're coming from, and because it's not that way. So this has been kind of fun to do all this stuff because like North Carolina, this is what I was like from the center of North Carolina going west. That's Appalachian Mountains get into North Carolina, right? Yeah. They get into North Carolina. Every county has at least one from the middle over. At least one, a little bit more as you get closer to the North Carolina border. Like Smoky Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains, are part of Appalachian. I mean, there's a lot there. Holland Dog alone. Oh, yeah, huh? Okay. There was one I did read about. It was a father-daughter, right? They live out there, and the daughter had seen something. And, dad joked up, oh, it was a bear or something, nothing whatsoever. I guess one day they came home, he came back. One night he's going down his driveway, and he heard something in the distance that was like pirouetting on the side. And he said, when he heard it, he looked over there, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. So he got a hold of his daughter. His daughter got back a hold of him. He's like, I need you to draw what you saw. And come to find out, it was the same thing. So, yeah, man. I mean, North Carolina has 105 sightings. Earliest is June of 23. And I start thinking about that too. I'm like, I'm looking forward to going up to Appalachian Mountains here. Kentucky, we get it all of Tennessee and all the stuff like that. But then, I always told them the migration, no. But at the fact of on some of these areas being overpopulated with people to where they're not staying as hidden, not as easily to stay hidden, so they got to get back up and go up into the woods and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. That's one of those things I thought about. I was like, huh. It's like, because that's North Carolina. Doing this states things has been eye-opening. It really has. I know the further north we get, the more sightings pick up. Especially like Canada, man, British Columbia and all that. There's just so much that's going on in southern Montana, Michigan. Yeah, I'm telling you, I could go up there. I thought about that too. One thing we need to understand, I don't like when people say a monster creature, because then that's when you get Bubba and Henry with their shotgun. We're going to go get this fool. We're going to find him. No. And like I said, that story I told you about the Delta Force of Green Bay killing him. I don't know. But then at the same time, when that one video I saw about, that had been a leaked video, that them observing the family of Harry's I was like, dude, that was pretty cool. Like I said, and then, Dr. Emily's saying the same thing about the arm. I mean, that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys all the way around. So South Carolina, North Carolina, roughly 154 sightings. And then Florida was, 340. And then we had like 100 and 150, 160. I'm not saying anything, guys, but I'm doing starting Wednesdays. I told you guys about when I start talking about things that I have my visitors. I'm not saying anything. I'm looking forward to watch this back, but I swear to goodness, I have seen a visitor go by in the back up here, and then I think I just saw another one right here up front. I'm just saying, if you watch this, let me know. I'm curious because I'm looking forward. If they're here already, apparently they're glad I'm back. Is all I can say. And hopefully this helps you guys out there. If it's the first time, if you like what I'm doing, like me, subscribe. Let's get them numbers back up, guys. I've lost all my peeps out there, guys. And I know you're out there. I know you do care about me and love me. And this is when we can be together. Twist up a fatty, drink a beer, listen to me. It's like I'm there with you. I'm enjoying it. I can smell it. Vote more this way. Okay, now look, I want to talk about, like, if I was going to do this. I told this something I said it's a passion I hope to do one day. But like my RV, I started thinking about it. You have to look into it. You have to find the road, the area you're accessing, like an 18-mile area where you can go and park your RV. When everything's got to be legal. You got to make sure it's legal. But with my RV, one thing I was thinking about on the top, because these cameras, I'm telling you, I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering about the cameras. I'm wondering the trail cameras. Unless they can come up with one that blends into the tree more. Maybe it's flatter, more curved, more natural, instead of this big square-ass, gaudy-ass, thick-ass box you stick in there with your batteries and whatnot. I mean, but something like solar could run off the sun, that could wrap around and blend in with the tree, and maybe that might help. But anyway, like with my RV, I would like to have in the center of my RV on the top. Okay? They have drones, right? But they also have what's called a tethered drone. It never runs down on battery. Mostly a drone 45 minutes. You don't have to recharge it. The thing about a tethered drone, it's really popular in the military. They've used them a few times. That's why I thought about this. I would build something on top of my RV to where it keeps one secured. It can stand the weather and whatnot. I mean, you can have it when it's bad weather, but you can't on clear nights. But I would have a tethered drone that I could launch from the top of my RV that would say you could go to 100 to, I think probably 100 to 200 feet. You think that would be high enough and give you enough room to look? That would have, heat sensors on it, that would detect motion and would focus in on it. I would want to have that, a tethered drone on top of my RV. I was like, that's one of my ideas, and I bet somebody out there gets it. Hey, good deal. Let me know if it works. Still, I can do it when the time comes, because the camera would be rotating. And then I started thinking about this. So I would do every state. I think if you pick out maybe 4 or 5 good states, you got to, like I said, before the time comes, I'll get into where things are coming down, and you want to go to where it seems to be very active and whatnot. At least here in the U.S. Okay. But like they've done, I would definitely want to leave some cameras there that would run 24/7, weathered, maybe solar, so you don't have to worry about the battery just charging and feeds information about your computer, your home base, or wherever you have it. At the same time, they have them arm cameras out that have the dome on them that can rotate, that has an arm. Now, going back to Harry, if Harry sense, I mean, you have to take all this into consideration. I think you want to spray a thing down or spray some deer musk on it, deer urine, I don't know, cover up their scent. I mean, you definitely want to do that. But like that rod, that camera that would run all the time, you'd have to do the same thing. Deer urine, something. You've got to mask the smell, but the same camouflage it, make it look like it's a tree limb that you could install in a tree. To where it would be there constantly, it would never come down. 24/7, 365, but it would blend into the surroundings. I think I think that would work. I thought about that too. You know, and then like at the RV, parabolic mics. I'd have parabolic mics going up in all directions, recording all the time at nighttime. I've always said that. That's a big thing. Just so you can hear sounds and hear what's going on out there. The heat camera, of course, the inside would be the RV would be the home base, like I said. Somebody there, a tech person probably, but like 6 computers. You got your screens going, recording stuff. They would be going over stuff. You're sitting back. I'll say maybe, hey, what about, they did it too they did that on Expedition Bigfoot, the cameras. You know, like the police cameras, the body cams. That's an idea. I don't know how they take charge. Maybe you flip them out. Maybe have somebody, 2 people maybe, to where one person can come to the camp and pick up stuff to take back, and then they can do the research, and they got 2, you and somebody else out here doing the camping. And then having that camper too get cleaned up. But you don't want to smell like a bunch of perfume and stuff like that. Well, they already know you're there though. So I mean, I don't know. I guess you'd be clean. You could look good for Harry. You never know. Yeah. And also, I would have my camera focus a little bit more on the trees sometimes as well. You know, because if like large silverbacks can climb trees, 500-pound silverbacks can climb trees. I mean, I think Harry can too. And also another one is, it wouldn't be a year-round thing. I would go from April to probably September. You know, more north, of course. I think my visits would be more north. I believe definitely Michigan. I'll be seeing you, Dan. I'm telling you, buddy. Washington, California, probably Colorado would be one of them too. Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I don't know more. Maybe more east. I'm telling them Appalachian Mountains. I'll get into that. I don't know. I don't know if I would do the Appalachian Mountains, man. I don't know. There's just an awful lot of spooky crap that comes out of there. But that's from another time. We'll get to that one. But yeah, the April, September, I was thinking about that one. I was like, that'd be a good one. And like I said, each place you want to leave the cameras going. You got to leave at least, I don't know, man. I think you'd have to leave one on one side and one on the other side if you're in the area. And those would be the places, you have your 5 places, you try to visit them every year. You know, and you might not get something, but after 3 visits, I think, if you're not getting any feedback or nothing from it, then okay, we need to find a new place and do it for another 3 years. You know, because it's like the lottery ticket. Now time you can get a scratch, but it's what you're observing, what you're seeing. You have to break it down. Yeah, covering up your scent. I think that's the biggest thing. Get deer and heat. I mean, whatever you got to use, cover it up. Because I'm telling you, the smelling. It's okay. Decorating stuff in the cameras. You know, here's the one thing I thought about that I would want to use, and I don't know why. This is bringing a little bit of Casper love into this. But for like nighttime walking and stuff, an SLS camera, guys. I've used the SLS camera here. I'll have some good stories from my SLS cameras. But they see him. He's on Harry Patrol. But the SLS cameras, they'd be able to see, if they're behind a tree, you're going to see the stick figure pop out. You'll see stick figures in the dark. I thought about that. I was like, I would do it. When my time comes, maybe someone here out there that's doing this, I'll try that. I just think the SLS cameras might work out. You might see more in the dark that you haven't seen. I don't know. It's just an idea. I hope you've enjoyed the show this week. It's a little bit different. Expedition Bigfoot, like I said. From the stories to the acknowledgement that, hey, Jimbo's not trying to blow smoke up your butt, but Jimbo's really thinking about things and analyzing things from different directions. It's been pretty cool. I'm just having a blast. I'm looking forward to getting to Casper. I swear to goodness, guys, I'm not saying this, but just now I saw one going across here. I'm happy to be back, and I'm glad they're here with me. And I thought I wouldn't see anything during the days because I'm going to do one show, and I'll get into more time Wednesday. I'll wait till Wednesday. This is for Harry. But apparently we got other visitors here that are enjoying the Harry talk, too. This is just delightful. That tickles my heart. I don't have a lot. I enjoy the smallest things, like y'all taking time out for me today. I hope you have a blessed weekend. I hope you have a strong week ahead. And we will see you here again next Saturday. Remember, keep smiling, knowing Harry's out there. Enjoy your weekend, like I do, like I will, the best I possibly can. Keep a smile on your face. Most important, you guys, I can't express enough. Be kind to each other. And, man, let me know if you guys saw any of our visitors there. It just delights me. It tickles me pink. Have a blessed weekend, guys. I will see you next Saturday. And hey, Wednesday will be my first show. E.T. and Casper. Hopefully join me too. Be good to everybody, okay? Much love, guys. Bye.